630.
For more in-depth coverage of the news, visit WHAV's website at whav.net.
Catch the wave!
On air or online, WHAV serves you. All day long, keep up to date with tenacious but objective local reporting from the only Haverhill-based news source. Find out about civic and charitable events on Community Spotlight every quarter hour, and better prepare with wave weather heard every 30 minutes. For talk, there's Tom Hartman weekdays at noon, the Open Mic Show every Monday night, and David Packman Tuesday through Friday nights. And there's more. Hear classic comedy and drama 7 nights a week at 10 p.m. and 1 a.m. Finally, a unique blend of soft gold music radiates day and night. Only local radio can bring you this combination of music, news, and features, but only WHAV does.
Wave weather!
I'm WHAV meteorologist Rob St. Pierre with wave weather. We'll head on through tonight with skies clearing out and a low between 45 and 50. Sunshine throughout the day. Tuesday, a fantastic day. Highs in the mid to upper 60s. It'll be clear Tuesday night, 45 to 50. More sunshine Wednesday with temperatures close to 70. Now, late Wednesday and Wednesday night, a cold front comes through. No rain expected with the front, though, but it will be cooler on Thursday with sunshine and a high of about 60. I'm WHAV meteorologist Rob St. Pierre. Your next wave weather in 30 minutes.
Catch the wave! WHAV! Open mic!
From the Edwin B. Johnson Newsroom, WHAV presents the Open Mic Show with Tim Coco. Make your voice heard. Call 978-374-1900. That's 978-374-1900. Or email tcoco@whav.net.
Good evening, everyone. I'm Tim Coco, and this is the Open Mic Show, a 50-year staple of democracy in the Merrimack Valley. Chris Porter is in master control. He'll be taking your calls. Tonight's going to be a great night. Coming up on the program, Sarah Moser, director of the Haverhill Public Library, will be coming in, along with Liz Rieur, a reference librarian, to talk about the library's big fundraiser that's coming up later this month. Talk a little bit more about that. This hour of the Open Mic Show is being brought to you by Haverhill Bank, just one bank. All right, some news on every week. We talk about where and how to listen. I have confirmed that WHAV sound is also heard now on Channel 99 of Comcast in Haverhill. That's the education channel operated by Haverhill Community Television. So when there are no educational programs on, that means usually if there's a message board up, you'll be able to hear WHAV. Thanks go out to the board members, staff members, and management of Haverhill Community Television, HC Media. So again, unlike this program, which is seen and heard on Channel 22, and as a matter of fact, I'm going to ask if any listeners what the sound is like, because that's been a recurring problem, and it turns out that HCTV needs to make a volume adjustment because the sound coming out of here is fine. So if there's a problem, we'll try to check that during the break, and then make a call to HCTV if that's the issue. But it's entirely equipment down at the television studio. But again, thanks to them for putting us on. HAV was on Channel 22, the sound on the bulletin board. I'm not really sure what happened, but it's now on Channel 99. And I'd like to thank also the school department personnel who requested that change be made. So very good. You can also listen to WHAV 24 hours a day, 7 days a week at WHAV.net on AM Radio 1640. And besides Channel 99, on cable television across the valley and over Channel 8, Methuen Channels 8 and 22 on Comcast, Channel 32 on Verizon Fios, Plasto, channels 17 and 23, Sandown, New Hampshire, channel 17, at least until the selectmen come on. I understand that happens on Mondays. We also, you can see the program, besides Channel 22 in Haverhill, you can see the program on your computer or smartphone at whav.tv. whav.tv. It is much higher quality than you see on your TV screen. For some reason, Comcast does not give the local public access channels high definition, high fidelity broadcasting. So if you want to watch in crystal clear, you can try out whav.tv on your computer or smartphone. You know, I never mentioned this, but if you want to see a rerun of the program at any time, usually late on Monday nights after the program or early Tuesday. If you go to the bottom of the page at whav.tv, you'll see past videos of the open mic show. You can just click and watch it there. The videos are also on WHAV's YouTube channel if that's better for you. You know, another thing we don't really mention much is that if you have an Apple TV box, Apple TV, you can find WHAV there too on the Golden Oldies channel of the radio button. So you go to your home screen, go down on the bottom, there's radio, click Golden Oldies, click again for WHAV, and you can get us right there on your television if you have Apple TV. You might even have a device like a Roku that has TuneIn, and yes, you can find WHAV there. I don't usually mention all those details, but I find more and more people are getting those high-tech televisions and getting those high-tech boxes like Apple TV or Roku and maybe others, and WHAV usually is there. WHAV is one of the pioneer internet broadcasters, so it's on almost all the systems. So keep that in mind. All right, we're taking November birthdays and anniversaries this month. We always work a month ahead. So if you know someone who's having a birthday or a couple that's having an anniversary in November, just call the program and their names will be added to the contest to win a free 7-inch cake from LBD's second-generation Italian bakery, 140 South Main Street in Bradford. Now, LBD's provides the cakes absolutely free of charge. But while you're there, there's no harm in looking at all those other goodies. There's breads, pizza, cookies, mini pastries. Mini pastries probably my favorite here. Breakfast pastry, coffee rolls, Danish, muffins, scones. Getting hungry now. American pastry like brownies, cupcakes, whoopie pies. Italian pastry, oh boy. Cannolis, cream puffs, tarts, Napoleon. So, while you're picking up your cake, or even otherwise, they're open 6 a.m. to 6 p.m., you might want to check out their selection. So there's something there. So all you have to do is just take advantage of the contest. Call me, 978-374-1900. Just wish someone a happy birthday. You can do it. You can wish yourself a happy birthday. There's no rule against it. Or a happy anniversary. Your name will be entered into the contest. We'll draw the last Monday of the month. All right. Just a little sneak preview of what's coming up. At 7 o'clock, Sarah Moser, she's the new director of the Haverhill Public Library, and Liz Rieur, who's a reference librarian, are coming in to talk about this fascinating event. I think it might be the first time they're doing this, but we'll find out when they're on. But they're having a buffet trivia contest silent auction to raise money. It's technically under the auspices of the Friends of the Haverhill Public Library. And that's going to be coming up this month, Wednesday, October 21st from 7 to 11 p.m. at the Barking Dog Ale House, 77 Washington Street. Tickets are $35 in advance or $40 at the door. when they're here, we'll be putting up on the screen photos, so you don't have to if you're on watching us on television, so you can easily see the number and the web address to buy tickets. So that'll be there. Got a message today from a regular WHAV listener and viewer, Brian, and he wanted to make sure we told you about White Cane Safety Day. That is, let me see, October 15th. October 15th. And our producer's trying to tell me something, but as usual, I never understand what it is. There's a phone call? Brian. Oh, it's Brian. That's why you wanted me to know. All right. All right, Brian, you are on the open mic.
Hello, Tim.
All right, I'm just talking about White Cane Safety Day that you sent me. So what's up?
Well, nothing much. I wanted to get that information over to you before next week, and the corporal usually handles that kind of thing, so I just figured as long as I'm calling with a birthday wish that I would include that.
All right, before you give me the birthday wish, could you let the corporal know, because he's the one who's been most concerned about not being able to hear WHAV on television. WHAV is now on Channel 99 on the Haverhill Comcast system. It's not on all the time, but if he tries it from time to time, he can kind of figure out what the pattern is, because I know he missed hearing some of the music in the local news.
Oh, that's true, yeah. And I just checked 22 a little while ago, and the sound is coming through okay.
Oh, thank you for doing that, too.
I've got you coming through the iPad, so the sound is better there anyway.
Oh, okay. Oh, so you've been able to pick us up on your iPad, okay?
Yep.
Oh,
well, I think one of the girls downloaded the software to do that, so.
All right, very good. Okay. There are some programs you can use on the iPhone and the iPad. One is TuneIn, and which is very good. You can also go right to our site and click on the play button, but I understand it's pretty visual, so it might be better to find one of the alternatives. And there's another one. I don't even know how you pronounce it. I'm looking at my own. XIIA Live. Chris suggested that. XIIA Live is another app that you can listen.
I hadn't heard of that one.
No, like I said, I hardly ever mention all the places you can hear HAV, but it grows by leaps and bounds daily.
Right.
All right, so let's hear who the birthday wish is for. Christine. Yeah. Christine. Okay.
I call hers in every year, and she's even won a couple of times.
Oh, really? Okay. I know we're backlogged and getting out the letters. I hope people aren't holding up their birthdays for them, but we're trying.
Well, I'm not going to see Diana till tomorrow, so I won't know. That's why I sent you her address again.
All right, good. Thank you for that. All right, so so Christine's birthday, do you know what day in November?
22nd.
November 22nd. You know, that day still stuck in my memory for a different reason.
JFK's assassination?
JFK. You know, I hate to say, it's funny how, certain dates just stick with you, like November 22nd, September 11th.
Yep.
Probably not the greatest thing if that's your birthday. Sorry, Christine.
Well, she was talking about it on Facebook one night, and she was saying how she was in the 4th grade at the time. I guess I'm giving her age away right now.
Okay.
She's a classmate, and
so you just gave yours away too.
Yeah. Well, the principal took a phone call, and then she had a party scheduled for her house, with her friends.
Oh, birthday party, yeah.
They went ahead with the party, of course. It was all planned and everything, and but it was just different, I guess. I wouldn't know. I wasn't at the party.
All right, well, that's nice to have a little anecdote to kind of support that. Yeah, that must be something else. I imagine that's true for people whose birthdays are on September 11th now, or December 7th, Pearl Harbor Day.
A day that will live in infamy.
Very good, yes. President Franklin Delano Roosevelt addressing Congress the next day. You're absolutely right. All right. So, but tell us about White Cane Safety Day.
Well, it's the day to recognize the symbol of independence, that being the long white cane, as the accomplishments of blind persons all over the United States. And I'm sorry to say that the unemployment rate among the blindness community is still quite high.
Oh, okay.
I don't know.
Has it improved from time to time?
From time to time.
Okay.
But still, though, I mean, there are a lot of preconceived notions and such like that, and so there's a big problem. I mean, my wife had her master's degree, and she had trouble seeking competitive employment, and she was more educated than some of the people she had to report to. So.
Oh wow! So she had a master's degree. I don't know. Our industry, I hope, is a little better. There are quite a few people who are blind who have radio jobs, and it kind of makes sense. It's audio, and there are programs like you use yourself, JAWS, among them, that helps you guide through the computer. But, there was one on the air for many years at, I think, WEEI. Ken
Meyer?
Yes, Ken Meyer. He always did old-time radio shows, I think.
That's what I heard, yeah.
Yeah, so, so there have been some really talented people on the radio. Maybe it's an industry, I don't know, I don't know if it's still like that. Maybe the controls are a little more complex and there aren't as many devices to help translate them, but I would hope our technology has helped us, not harmed us.
It's hard to say because I'm just so apart from the technology for that area. I know that I was looking for information one time on a simple microphone, and I called Ronnie Millsap down in Tennessee.
Oh, really?
Still hasn't called me back. I don't know, it's been 20 years. You think I should call him again?
Yeah, maybe. Paul, following up on that call I made, I left on your probably cassette voice tape recorder, if he had an answering machine. Oh, no, that's interesting.
It was a secretary, I think, a live secretary took the message.
Oh, that's right. I keep forgetting. In those days, there were actually people who answered phones.
Yep.
Actually, I'm being accused of not answering my phone as much, and that is true.
Well, you're a busy guy.
It's funny. I read something about that. I don't know if this is a partial rant or not, but I read some scientific study, and you really shouldn't rely on these things, but during the week, I think it was, and it said people who say they're busy aren't half as busy as they think they are. They're just wasting their time on Facebook. And this is like a study, and I'm thinking, I'm putting things on Facebook for the radio station, but they're usually automated, so it's something I'm doing on the website that automatically goes to Facebook. For those of you who don't know this, I am not an employee of WHAV. I get paid nothing. I have a lofty title, but I get paid nothing. This is a volunteer job. And my day job is advertising and public relations, but I would say I probably spend as much time, or if not more, on HAV, and we're hoping that will, we can even out a schedule at some point. But it's been kind of a big task to find a tower site for WHAV's new FM transmitter. I guess our listeners will be the first to know our latest tower site seems to have fallen through.
Oh, really?
So this is 2 sites that have fallen through. And, it's not easy to put up this antenna because we need, for the frequency 97.9, a lot of people will be surprised by this, but we need 300 meters of empty space, a radius of 300 meters. And that could be a separate rant about how the lobbyists work that rule in to keep these kinds of stations from opening. But that's why we haven't done a really big push for fundraising, because we're still trying to nail down that tower site. It's really just too bad. So I'm going to actually do an open call. Anyone in eastern part of Haverhill, maybe a farm with a lot of land, WHAV might want to pay you something every month to rent your land for its antenna. How's that, Brian, if I got my own ad in?
That sounds good.
All right.
Maybe they'll even let you keep it on there for free, huh?
What's that?
Let you keep the tower on there for free.
Well, that would even be better, but we're not that unrealistic. I don't think people realize our legal bills alone for this WHAV FM is $50,000.
That's a lot of dough.
Yeah, the original.
Maybe there's a spot in Andover.
What's that?
Maybe there's a place in Andover.
Yeah, well, the problem. Yeah, that's kind of the crux of the problem.
Yeah.
That it was. Yeah, there would be a spot now, wouldn't there? But anyway, but Brian is in the know, and we'll leave it at that for now. You can call it a private joke if you don't get it. If you do get it, send cards and letters to the Cardinal. All right. So, Brian, thank you very much for wishing Christine a birthday wish. We'll put it in the hat. And thanks for also letting listeners know about White Cane Safety Day. I'll go back to that a little later in the program, too, just in case someone is joining us late.
Yeah, and you're going to have next week off, right?
Am I? Chris? Is next week Columbus Day?
It should be, right?
I have a funny feeling HCTV doesn't work on Columbus Day, so chances are we won't be on. We try to honor their schedule because inevitably, even if we were on the internet or WHAV.TV, people just coming home from work, they just flick on the TV just to see if we're on. And then, if they don't like the sound or the picture, they might try the internet. But they look and say, oh, no, they're not on. So they don't even try the other sources. So that's why we don't usually run. So, Brian, thank you for letting me know our vacation schedule.
Well, it's also Canadian Thanksgiving, so, but I didn't think...
That's what I'm celebrating. Yeah. Okay. Well, that one has food.
That's right.
Okay, that's a recurring theme, too, on this show. All right, thank you very much, Brian.
All right, Tim.
All right, stand by, though. You'll be able to hear Sarah Moser and Liz Rieur from the library.
Yes, I'm looking forward to that. It's been a long time since I've been in the library, so...
Oh, well, see, maybe they'll have some, tell us about some attractions that you'll want to go down there for. All right, well, Brian, appreciate your call in the program.
Okay.
All right, good night.
Good night.
All right. Okay, folks, we're going to take a brief break for, what is this hour? This hour features this day in Massachusetts history. Then we'll be back for the final few minutes of the hour. We'll be right back.
Open mic!
Tim Coco and the Open Mic will be right back. Get in on the action. Call 978-374-1900 or email tcoco@whav.net. If you are enjoying this program, please consider making a donation right now. Your donations to not-for-profit WHAV help keep these vital community services on the air. Donate online at www.whav.net.
This is Pacifica Radio for the Merrimack Valley, WHAV.
Catch the wave!
Johnny Dollar.
The cat with the proverbial 9 lives isn't in the same league with yours truly, Johnny Dollar. Dollar has flirted with the Grim Reaper scores of times, but after every close shave, he's lived to total up his imaginative expense account. Solving a dangerous, exciting mystery, nabbing a fraud or killer out to make an insurance haul, that's Johnny Dollar's specialty every Sunday on CBS Radio. Every item in Johnny's expense account got there the hard way. No armchair detective he, the guy who must find the fraud, isolate the insurance killer, and come away alive with his proof. For excitement without a break, make yours truly, Johnny Dollar, a regular Sunday habit.
Yours truly, Johnny Dollar, is heard at 10 p.m. Sunday night as part of WHAV's nightly drama lineup.
Today is October 5th. On this day in 1951, Shoppers World in Framingham opened for business. The first suburban shopping mall in the Northeast, and only the second in the country, the complex was a revolutionary design. Anchored by a branch of Boston's Jordan Marsh department store, housed under a futuristic space-age dome, the mall was a sign of things to come. Over the next decades, retailers would concentrate their investment in auto-friendly malls in the suburbs, rather than downtown shopping areas. With its large middle class and new housing developments, Framingham was an ideal location for this new style of shopping. Eventually, the original Shoppers World design would become dated, and in 1994, over the protests of preservationists, the landmark was demolished. For more about this and other Mass Moments, go online to massmoments.org. Brought to you by the Massachusetts Foundation for the Humanities.
WHAV Open Mic.
From the Edwin B. Johnson Newsroom, WHAV presents the Open Mic Show with Tim Coco. Make your voice heard. Call 978-374-1900. That's 978-374-1900. Or email tcoco@whav.net.
All right, coming up after the news at 7, Sarah Moser, director of the Haverhill Public Library, will be with us, as will Liz Rieur, a reference librarian, to talk about what I think is the first time, a really big bash to support the library. Friends of the Haverhill Public Library is having a buffet, trivia contest, silent auction at Barking Dog Ale House on October 21st. We'll find out more about that, so stay tuned. Also, I want to remind you that this hour of Open Mic is being brought to you by Haverhill Bank. Just one bank. We thank all of the sponsors, and if you go to WHAV.net, you'll see quite a few political sponsors joining us for the season. Speaking of politics, I suppose, I have not heard back. Haverhill Community Television had asked TV shows to submit what I thought was for approval, plans to have candidates on the program. I never heard back from them, and that's why we've been waiting. Assuming we can get those on, we'll probably bring candidates in for 10 to 15 minutes each, beginning the week after next. And so that's 15 city council candidates, 6 school committee candidates. Usually one or two just don't want to do radio or television, so maybe we won't have them all, but we'll try to do the best we can. But again, I haven't heard from, I think it's Sarah at HCTV, because we are on their channel. We do need their permission for some of these things. So that's that may be something there. Also, I don't know if you caught this, speaking of WHAV.net, it's on WHAV's website. Frankly, even we were surprised by this. An independent third-party service called Cloudflare in San Francisco, Cloudflare, informed WHAV that it had, over the past 60 days, 2 months, 5.8 million visitors. 5.8 million. It's actually 5,769,635. Now, I don't know if you're familiar with the web. Not all of those are individuals, but there are people who come back maybe a couple times a day, or each day when they want to just check the news headlines, or they're tuning into a WHAV stream. But even counting all of that, it is fantastic traffic, and it does explain why we've had to replace the server a couple of times. So I want to thank all of you, listeners of WHAV, and those who read WHAV's expanded Haverhill local news and regional news. Thank you very much. 5.8 million visits to WHAV.net. That really tells me that people are craving local news and information, and WHAV hit the nail on the head, doing what it is that you would like to have the radio station do, and that is to bring you local news. I said last week when this news came out, I told our news director this confirms the need to launch the FM radio station, because FM brings local news content to those without internet access or during emergencies when such access may be impossible. I see WHAV on FM also as a economic development tool for Haverhill, with a signal that'll reach the ocean in all directions, on not the Pacific Ocean, the Atlantic Ocean, but with a signal also going in other directions, especially in southern New Hampshire. It just could be a tool to bring more tourists to Haverhill, more diners to the restaurants, more patrons to the fairs, and perhaps we could really luck out and attract a business over the border for a change, over the border into New Hampshire for a change. So I see WHAV, as did the original founder in 1947, Jack Russ, as a tool that can help the city's economic development. A lot of people who have their own reasons why they don't want HAV on the air, I would ask that they reconsider for the greater good of the community. All right, we're going to go to local news with Dana Esmill, national news from the FSN desk, local weather, and then we'll be back with Sarah Moser and Liz Rieur to discuss the Haverhill Public Library.
Open mic!
Tim Coco and the Open Mic will be right back. Get in on the action. Call 978-374-1900 or email tcoco@whav.net. If you are enjoying this program, please consider making a donation right now. Your donations to not-for-profit WHAV help keep these vital community services on the air. Donate online at www.whav.net.
It's 7:01.
WHAV LP Haverhill. WHAV is a nonprofit community service of Public Media of New England, Incorporated.
Here's what's happening in local news. The Haverhill City Council is being asked to retain an engineering company which designed improvements to the downtown flood wall to oversee construction of new portions of a Merrimack River boardwalk and, quote, review other invoices generated by the Harbor Place project, end quote. On Tuesday's council agenda, Haverhill Economic Development and Planning Director William Pillsbury is scheduled to discuss Mayor James J. Fiorentini's request to reallocate a $130,000 surplus from a $6.061 million bond order in 2012 for the flood wall improvement project. The funds would be used to, quote, extend and amend a contract with engineering company AECom to, quote, provide oversight and review of millions of dollars of construction invoices generated by the boardwalk and the Harbor Place project, end quote. The proposed bond order amendment is also subject to approval by the city's bond council. The flood wall design project to ensure the structure behind Merrimack Street would support constructing a boardwalk atop of it came in under budget, according to Fiorentini. The 2012 bond order authorized the city to borrow through the Massachusetts Water Pollution Abatement Trust and Department of Environmental Protection for, quote, any federal or state aid available for the project or for the financing thereof, end quote. The Haverhill City Council meets at 7 p.m. Tuesday in council chambers at Haverhill City Hall. More details can be found at whav.net. Ronald H. Paquin, 72, a former associate pastor at St. John the Baptist Church in Haverhill, will not have to remain behind bars. Essex District Attorney Jonathan W. Blodgett's office withdrew its petition to keep Paquin in prison as a, quote, sexually dangerous person when experts who examined him could not conclude the former priest poses a threat. Quote, our contention is that Mr. Paquin poses a danger to the community, Blodgett said. Quote, unfortunately, we have no further legal options available to hold Mr. Paquin, end quote. Paquin pleaded guilty to 3 counts of rape of a child in December 2002 and was sentenced to 12 to 15 years in state prison. The rapes took place in Haverhill between 1989 and 1992, beginning when the victim was 12 years old. A probable cause hearing took place over the course of 2 days in early August. Essex Assistant District Attorney Jennifer Kirschenbaum presented testimony from Dr. Greg Bell, a forensic psychologist specializing in sex offenders. Judge James Lang found probable cause on August 20th, and Paquin was then evaluated by 2 qualified examiners. Neither of them found him sexually dangerous. Paquin, who was represented by attorney David Erickson, was the first priest to admit guilt in a molestation case during the Boston Archdiocese's sex abuse scandal. Paquin began his career at St. Monica's Church, Methuen, in 1973.
Business Bulletin.
In business notes, as Governor Charles D. Baker visits Haverhill Wednesday evening as featured speaker at the Merrimack Valley Chamber of Commerce annual dinner, he will be joined by at least one guest dignitary who returns to the area after speaking last month at a Chamber Business Expo. Executive Office of Housing and Economic Development Assistant Secretary of Business Development Nam Pham will join Baker and others during the event beginning at 6 p.m. Wednesday at DeBurrows Function Hall, 887 Boston Road, Ward Hill, according to MVCC Assistant Vice President Michael A. Bevilacqua. Pham was featured speaker at a VIP luncheon September 16 during the Chamber's annual Fall Back to Business Expo trade show Job, Health, and Wellness Fair. Quote, he was a hit in the sense of how he would help businesses and business growth in the Merrimack Valley, Bevilacqua told WHAV. Quote, he stressed the importance of small business as well, end quote. Pham oversees the Massachusetts Office of Business Development, Office of Travel and Tourism, Film Office, and Office of International Trade and Investment. During Wednesday's annual dinner event, in addition to Baker's address, Mrs. Thomas Menino will accept, on behalf of the late Boston Mayor, the Chamber's Leadership and Valor Award. Emmaus Incorporated will be the recipient of a Community Spirit Award. Tickets are $125 per person or $1,250 per table. For more information, contact the Merrimack Valley Chamber of Commerce at 978-686-0900 or visit www.merrimackvalleychamber.com. 2 Haverhill motorists are due to be arraigned in district court on drunk driving charges following separate arrests by police over the weekend. According to Haverhill Police, Soren Sabau, 31 of 208 Canosa Street, Haverhill, was taken into custody at 11:36 p.m. Sunday at home. He was charged with operating under the influence